It usually starts in a room exactly like this. A team sits around a laptop, typing queries into a brand new AI agent pilot, watching flawless answers stream back in seconds. It feels like magic. For this pilot, the team built an internal knowledge agent to handle routine support. The scale is modest but meaningful, exactly 2,000 conversations a month. This invoice shows exactly what that team is looking at when they calculate the cost of those 2,000 conversations. Based purely on the API tokens the model consumes to read and write text, the math spits out a remarkably low number, just $121 a month. The reaction is almost universal. At $120 a month, deploying the agent feels like a straightforward win. But fast forward 6 months, and the mood in that boardroom is entirely different. Companies are discovering that their deployment budgets are severely depleted, and the expected financial returns have failed to materialize. This iceberg illustration explains why. The AI industry is incredibly good at selling the tiny, visible token cost above the waterline, but it's the massive, hidden operational infrastructure lurking below the surface that sinks companies who fail to plan for it. To understand what went wrong, we have to look past the demo and examine the actual monthly invoice that assembles itself over the weeks following deployment. This bar chart tracks the software infrastructure required to keep the agent alive. The token cost is just the base. On top of that, we must add subscription fees for the hosting platform, secure encrypted cloud storage for the documents, and overage charges for the agent's automated calls to third-party APIs. And then there is the retrieval system. For an AI agent to actually search through internal company knowledge, you have to index that data using a vector database. That database adds an inescapable $50 to our monthly tech stack invoice. When you add up the software alone, the $121 token cost, the number everyone fixated on during the demo, represents less than 4% of the agent's actual operational reality. But we aren't done. The largest expense in any AI deployment comes from the human specialists required to build and oversee the system. First, there is the amortized upfront labor. This includes the cost of designers to engineer and tune the prompts, compliance officers to clear security protocols, and trainers to ensure the staff actually knows how to use the tool. Referencing our chart again, the single largest recurring cost drops heavily onto the stack, the nearly $1,200 spent every month on human-in-the-loop review. This is the labor required to constantly QA the agent's answers before they can be trusted. The final fully loaded cost for year 1 locks in at $3,230 a month. That cheap pilot has expanded into a serious budget line. Deploying an AI agent is a complex infrastructure project, requiring a permanent human premium to maintain safety and accuracy. Knowing the true cost is only half the battle. Now we have to look at the return side of the ledger, focusing on the actual workload those 2,000 conversations absorb. The agent doesn't resolve every single inquiry perfectly, but it does successfully handle about 65% of them on its own. That efficiency removes 325 hours of human support work from the team each month. This equation shows the immediate temptation. If we multiply those 325 freed hours by the company's fully loaded support rate of $45 an hour, we get a theoretical gross value of $14,600. This creates a major accounting risk. If employees use those freed hours to simply slow their pace or take longer breaks, the company gains zero actual revenue, despite the high-tech investment. Gross time saved is a seductive vanity metric. It only impacts a company's bottom line if it is forcefully converted into cash. To make the value real, we have to apply the discipline of cashable value. This means identifying only the specific returns that definitively hit the company's profit and loss statement. This financial ledger tracks what happens when we apply that discipline. The primary cashable win is concrete. Because the AI agent absorbed 325 hours of capacity, the company explicitly canceled a planned hire, saving $6,250 a month. Next, we add the secondary cashable wins. The agent captures incremental revenue from after-hours inquiries that usually go cold, and it retains at-risk accounts by providing instant response times. That brings the strict cashable total to $9,050 a month. The financial value of AI depends entirely on a management team's ability to redeploy saved human hours towards generating or protecting revenue. This side-by-side comparison chart shows the final reality of our pilot. On the left, the fully loaded actual cost of $3,230. On the right, the strictly cashable value of $9,050. When you strip away the illusions, the math leaves us with a definitive net positive return of nearly $5,800 every single month. Despite the massive hidden infrastructure costs, the agent successfully pays for itself nearly 3 times over. To achieve this, companies must follow 2 rules. First, you have to budget for the entire operational iceberg, ignoring the distraction of cheap tokens. Second, you must enforce the operational discipline to actually cash the time saved, rather than letting those hours evaporate. AI is a highly profitable operational lever, but it only works if you acknowledge the hidden costs and actively engineer your own financial returns.